Lucky, Larson, Masters. This is more than competition. This is tradition. This is family. Another name will enter the Hall of Champions. The lanes remember, the crowd remembers. Champions leave, but their names remain forever. From Australia, Jason Belmonte. Power, personality, passion. From the United States, Kyle Troop. Kyle Troop. From Denmark, Karsten Hansen. Year after year, frame after frame, another champion earns his name. The trophy changes hands, but the legend remains. Hall of Champions, hear their names. Then the world stopped, the lanes became silent, but the dream remained. When the lights returned, so did the champions. From Denmark, Matthias Ankerdal. From the United States, AJ Johnson. Sweden waited, Sweden believed. Jesper Svensson stepped forward. Another American champion, Sean Rash. They came from across the world and answered the call. Belmonte, Truth, Hansen, Ankerdal, Johnson, Svensson, Rash. Names written forever in the Hall of Champions. History is never finished. A new chapter begins. The best return. New challengers arrive. Somewhere in this field is the next Hall of Champions name. Every year the dream is new. You can practice, you can prepare. But beneath these lights, there is nowhere left to hide. Every spare, every strike, every frame can change it all. Someone answers the call. Hear the call of the North, where champions rise under Scandinavian skies. Hear the call of the North, where legends are born from every country, from every shore. Storm, Lucky, Larson, Masters. Hear the call of the North. The journey gets harder. The field gets smaller. Sunday, August 30th. The final steps begin. 9 o'clock. Final step. 1. 4 o'clock. Final step. 2. 12 o'clock. Final step. 3. 4 o'clock. Final step. 4. 5:30. One night away from destiny. Monday, August 31st. 7 o'clock. The semifinals. The lights burn brighter. The crowd gets louder. Finally, there are only two. One match, one trophy, one champion. Who will rise? Who will answer the call? Hear the call of the North. This is where champions rise under the Helsingborg skies. Every journey, every dream, tonight a name will join them all. Belmonte, Troop, Hansen, Ankerdal, Johnson, Svensson, Rash. And next, who will it be? Who will it be? Who will it be? Who will it be? One player will leave Olympia Bowling carrying the trophy. A place among the legends. A place among the champions. A place in history. Hear the call. When the lights finally fade and the final ball has rolled, another story will be written, another story will be told. The champions and memories, every single name. Hear the call of the North from every corner of the world. For the players, for the fans, this is bowling, this is history, this champions have answered the call. Now another name is waiting to be written. The lanes are ready, the trophy is waiting. The Hall of Champions is waiting. Hear the wind, hear the crowd, hear the north, and answer the call. Hear the call of the north.
The lights are on, the crowd's alive. You can feel the magic in the night. From every corner of the world we came, one dream to chase, one common flame. Every lane, every road, every heartbeat, every soul. The journey starts the moment we're here, with hope instead of fear. We came to fight, we came to fly, together reaching for the sky. One chance, one shot, one destiny. Tonight we're who we're meant to be. So lucky, lost and masters. We're rising high. So lucky, lost and masters. Together we can touch the sky. Every strike, every dream, stronger than we've ever been. So lucky, lost and masters. Tonight we come alive. Helsingborg shines like never before. Every cheer echoes through the floor. Champions meet, friendships grow. Every frame puts on a show. The pressure builds, the moment's near. Every heartbeat crystal clear. No matter where tomorrow leads, tonight we're living out our dreams. Side by side, we stand as one. Our story's only just begun. No looking back, no turning round. Listen to the roaring sound. Storm lucky, lost and masters. Oh, we're rising high. Storm lucky, lost and masters. Together we can touch the sky. Every strike, every dream, stronger than we've ever been. Storm lucky, lost and masters. Tonight we come alive. Sing it louder. Hearts are stronger. One more chance, one more frame. We'll remember every name. Feel the fire, feel the fire. Climbing higher, climbing higher. This is where the legends start. One game, one dream, one heart. Storm lucky, lost and masters. We're rising high. Storm lucky, lost and masters. Together we can touch the sky. Raise your hands into the night. Every dream is burning bright. Storm lucky, lost and masters. Forever we remember this night. Storm lucky, lost and masters. We're champions. Come alive.
All the champions!
Carsten Hansen stood so tall. Matthias Ankerdahl inspired us all. A.J. Johnson found his time. Jesper Svensson made it shine. Sean Rash wrote the latest page. Now another dream takes center stage. Who will lift the trophy high? Who will hear the crowd tonight? Every frame can change it all. Every champion starts so small. Storm, Lucky, Lost, and Masters. Where history comes alive. Storm, Lucky, Lost, and Masters. Where champions always rise. Another name will join them all. Another legend standing tall. Storm, Lucky, Lost, and Masters. Who's the next to win the crown? Sean Rash, Jesper Svensson, hey, A.J. Johnson, Matthias Ankerdahl, Carsten Hansen, Kyle Troop, Jason Belmont. Who's next?
Hear the call of the north. Hear the silence. Hear the call. They are coming. From the north, south, east, west. Different countries, different roads. One destination, Helsingborg. Olympia, bowling. One dream, one goal, one title. Storm! Lucky Larson Masters! Under northern skies we stand. Champions gather from every land. Every journey, every mile has brought them here for one more trial. Every heartbeat, every frame, every player, every name. Tonight, the story starts again. Hear the call of the north, where champions rise. Under Scandinavian skies. Hear the call of the north, where legends are born and history lives forevermore. Storm, Lucky, Lost, and Masters. Hear the call of the north. Storm, Lucky, Larson, Masters. This is more than competition. This is tradition. This is family. Another name will enter the Hall of Champions. The lanes remember. The crowd remembers. Champions leave, but their names remain forever. From Australia, Jason Belmonte. Power, personality, passion. From the United States, Kyle Troop! Kyle Troop! From Denmark, Carsten Hansen. Year after year, frame after frame, another champion earns his name. The trophy changes hands, but the legend remains. Hall of Champions, hear their names. Then the world stopped. The lanes became silent, but the dream remained. When the lights returned, so did the champions. From Denmark, Matthias Ankerdal. From the United States, AJ Johnson. Sweden waited. Sweden believed. Jesper Svensson stepped forward. Another American champion, Sean Rash. They came from across the world and answered the call. Belmonte, Truth, Hansen, Ankerdal, Johnson,
All right, here we go again. Good morning, everybody. You can feel it in my voice that I've been talking for many, many hours this last few days. And as I said last night on the last squad, you're going to have to be very forgiving with me on this early morning squad. It's going to take a while until I wake up completely and my voice clears enough. But hopefully the bowlers give us a big showtime again, as they have been doing for the past few days. And that's going to help me wake up with some excitement and some striking going on. I've already got my first big cup of coffee in the house. I'm about to take the second cup of coffee here in the bowling alley, and I have a Red Bull ready. So it's not going to be because I don't try to be awake. It's not going to be a lack of caffeine. Let's see how long can we get this. So we are on 9 o'clock on Saturday, 29th of August here in Helsingborg, Sweden. Olympia Bowling Alley Storm Lucky Larsens 2026. And we have a bunch of strikes as usual. So let's move around and see who is doing what and where. Lane 1, 2, 3, and 4, we can see the Finnish guy, Kanon Saloma, already with a double and a triple. Netherlands, we can see Jort van Veden, spare and 4 in a row. Good morning, Johnny. Good morning, Sylvia. And good morning also for Henrik over there. Good morning, buddy. It's good to see I'm not alone. I'm very happy that at least there's somebody out there, and at least I'm not talking just to myself this early in the morning. I I usually talk to myself, but I feel like I may start answering at this point. And that's not going to be a good sign. That was a four bagger there for Karen Solomon. 3 and 4 we find. I ended up saying I'm going to call him Happy. That's very tough. Or just Mr. Hardarson. Couple of open frames there, bowling along with Anton Persson. And then on lane 4, Saskia Kirch and Maxine Bolek. Let's move one more so you see who else is bowling here. Lanes 5 to 8, Daniel Borner, Harry Davies, Lucas Bananen, Victor Berner, Isak Delisle, Kilian Jonsson, Caitlin Oisek there with front 6 for Caitlin. Caitlin is currently living here in Helsingborg, studying, unless I'm mistaken, which could be very possible at the moment. I think she's Canadian. But if you guys give me a second, I may be able to find that specific data. We are on squad this one. Where are you, Caitlin? Yeah, of course, it has to say Sweden in here because she has the Swedish license. So I cannot really confirm she's Canadian. But that would be my bet. If somebody else there in the chat knows it, you can let me know. So Caitlin over there with front 6, then a little split, and there goes another strike there for Caitlin. Looking good in the morning. She must be a morning person, definitely. Moving on, 9, 10, 11, 12. Zacharias bowling along with Juho Rissanen. Emil Holmberg there with 5 in a row. Sergio Lucas, a couple of 9 misses in there for Sergio. I'm guessing Sergio is not a morning person. He's also from Barcelona. Some days we are morning persons, but not every day. Lanes 11 and 12 we find KG Lim and Justin Knowles bowling with Santu Karlila and Ryan Barnes there with 4 in a row. Just a 6 split that we happen to show before I move to the left corner. And another strike. And if we move to 13 to 16, a lot of striking in here as well for Alexander Holm. Spare and 6 in a row. Niklas Sorensen working on his, following his buddy over there with also 6 in a row after a spare. Bowling with them, it's Bjorn Jensen and Jari Staples. 15-16, we find Magnus Krok, Chase Nader, Lucas Nilsson, and Thomas McNeil. And finally, if we move to 17 to 20, we can see some striking here as well for Thomas Larsson. We see Kyle True bowling already early in the morning as well. Rodolfo Monicelli, the nephew of the one and only Ambletto. And bowling with them, we have Linus Schroeder. And finally on lanes, okay, that was a lucky one there for Thomas. Missed a little bit out, made it back. Bowling on 19 and 20, Marcus Luddy, Patrick Hennan, Brandon Allen, and Elisa Hiltunen. From 5 for Elisa. So a little bit of striking here and there, quite a few lanes with some striking. And let me give you some kind of update on what are the general standings at the moment. So the leader still is Tomo. Tomo shot 1488 on day 1 on the tournament, and nobody else got to beat him so far. Number 2, Karsten Hansen, 1483. Noel is number 3, 1474. Emil Svensson with an amazing high-scoring squad last night, 1473. Emil had games of 279, 276 to begin with, and then the lowest one was 223. Number 5, Albin Gullstrand, 1473. Number 6 is Theo Bernard, 1472. Nate Purchase there, over there, 1471. Kevin Melin, 1466. Number 9, Max Lorenz. That kid yesterday shot 1461. The day before shot 1455. Strong two-handed, bowling urethane pretty much all the time. Carl Lakeland there, same thing. He had 1431, but last night he shot 1459. Currently sitting on top 10, but that should be more than enough with only 4 squads left to remain on the top 25, which buys you a step extra in the finals. That means you go directly to step 2. Antonino Fiorentino, 1458. William Benson, 1457. Matthias Ottning, 1456. He also bowled a couple of games over, a couple of squads over 1400, bowling back up. Very funny guy to watch bowl. Then we find Marcus Jansson, 1449, Zach Wilkins, 1448, Matthias Ankerdal, 1445. Actually, Matthias and Ankerdal and Matthias happening. I was told that they are the only two bowlers to win back-to-back EBF tournaments last season. Something similar to that. It's very early in the morning. I need to check on my notes here and there. It's going to get a little better later on as soon as caffeine kicks in, I promise. Number 15, Zach Wilkins, 1448. Matthias Ankendal, 1445. Eric Jones, 1438. Alex Horton, 1436. Thomas Kaiko, 1433. Anton Andersson, 32. Eric Larsson, 32. William Berggren, 32. Alexander Tigerstrand, 1429. Christopher Sloan, 1426. And closing that top 25 already 1425. We have 1, 2, 3 players below the 1430, and then 1, 2, 3 players tied on 1432. So I'm guessing 1433 guarantees a spot on top 25, despite the gigantic number of PBA bowlers we have still outside the cut. The current cut is sitting on 1388. That's Robin Illamar. As if you remember last night, we had a couple of guys on that edge score. We had Brandon Bonta shooting 1395. We had Robin with that 1388, which is not enough. We had Isak also shooting 1391. Couldn't double on the 10th. Robin was one strike short. So that means they would be just 4 spots higher for Isak and 8 for Robin with just 1 more strike. So that's how things are standing at the moment. Andrew Anderson, the first bowler outside the cut with 1385. And a bunch of big bowlers still not there. We can see Andrew, we can see Ben Robinson, TJ Rock, Don Harding, Pontus, Frankie Lawar, Rolfo Monacelli, Arnar Jonsson, Mike Ong, Kyle Troop, Ethan Fury, Justin Knowles, Matisse Blanchett, Chase Nader, and I could go on and on and on. Sean Raj, Mark Jacobs, Andrew Hall, Mika Koibinemi, Adam Anderson. It's so many bowlers, so many super talented bowlers that are still not in the final. AJ Johnson, Trevor Roberts, Brandon Bond, Ryan Barnes. I mean, I could keep going on. Thomas Larson, Tom Sorsey. Tom Sorsey is already on spot 97 with 126 over. Richard Tees is also outside there. Sarah Klassen also out. Nora Jansson is also out. The young world champ Lucas Bannanen also is not there. So many big names still to find the score. Jake Peters over there, 138 position. Fiona is now at 144. Alexander Holm. Yeah, so many. Timothy Tan all the way, 151 position for Timothy Tan. So as you can see, the scores have gone really high. The cat is getting higher and higher by every day. And it's putting us more or less on the 1400s to make the cut and the 1430s to make the top 25. That gives us an average of 230. 1380 is 230, so 20 pins more, 6 games. 234 more or less average. You need to score 234 every game. Every game you shoot under 234, you're shooting less than what the par would be here for the cut. So that gives you more or less an idea on how many strikes and not missing spares people need. Let's move back here. Karan Saloma on 230. Yort, same thing on the 230s. Over here, we saw Caitlin ended up with another split over there, so 220 for her. Victor Berner, it's a good game so far. It can go all the way up to 259, no, 269 actually. Just a second, I need to sip a Red Bull now. Yeah, I see Ida's making fun of my boys, hangover boys. Actually, it's not hangover. I didn't go out. Actually, it's too much bowling and too much talking about bowling hangover. Last night I left around 11:30 p.m. I was here 8:30. Today I gave myself half an hour extra. I arrived here at 9 o'clock. But I'm going to leave again at 11. And since I'm talking all day long, because it's not only talking here in the booth. As soon as I go out, it's interviews, it's saying hello to so many people. So I wish it was a hangover, boys, but I'm afraid it's not. It's just a pain in the back and lack of sleep, boys, and probably getting old, boys. But it's good to see more people is joining into the chat. I feel a little bit more in company and not so much talking on my own. So it's good that you guys are there. I truly appreciate. Thank you, Edith. Thank you for your kind words. Let's go back to the right corner. I see Kyle is ending. One more strike there for Kyle, working on a 236. Monacelli working on a 227. Marcus Latti working on a 248, which is going to be a 247 there, but that's a good game to begin with. Thomas Larsen has a chance for the 269. And again, it's a little bit like last night on the last squad. I'm getting too many places to go, too many strikes here and there. So I'm going to try to follow all the action. And I hope we don't get too dizzy jumping from camera to camera. 225 for Yari Staples, 223 for Alexander Holm, 246 with one more strike for Chase Nader. And a possible 290 here for Nicolas Sorensen. All the lanes I can see. Let me tell you, 257 for Emil Holmberg with one more strike on lane 10. And we have a chance for 269 on lane 6. So quite a high scoring pace already in the morning here in Helsingborg. Unbelievable that these guys are scoring so much. There was a big bunch of bowlers going out last night, let me tell you that. When I was ending the squad and saying goodbye to the people, there was a bunch, especially young kids, or the young ones. You know, that generation that then never takes the single pins. That generation was going out last night. They asked me if I wanted to follow, and I felt like going, but god damn it, I'm tired already. I knew this morning was going to be very tough to wake up, so that was the last thing I wanted to do. Go out. Look at that 12 frame for Chase over there. That's an expensive frame. He was on his way for 246. He got a big split, so 240. That's 4 on the last one. 8 and 1 for Nicolas Sorensen as well, so dropping down a little bit. As soon as I talk about someone, why is that happening? They keep going down. But a lot of striking here and there, a lot of high games. We're going to have a bunch of people again over par, and quite a few of them with more than 225. And as we just said a couple of minutes ago, 234, 235 seems to be par in here. So you make less than 234, 235, you're actually dropping pins to the predicted cat. And every game above 235, it's putting you a little bit closer to making the cat. They are almost done in every lane. Just one frame here to go for the people on lane 5 and 6. Just a couple of guys as well on lane 1 and 2. So pretty soon we can update the scores for day one. For game one here on day one. My God, if we were on day one, I'm jumping out the window. Squad 1 today. And it looks like there could be some people making the cut if the transition pays out a little bit in a happy way and it doesn't become too crazy. There was some urethane on the lanes, but not that many. And on top of it, some of those guys that was throwing urethane was a little bit deeper. Don't get me wrong. When I mean a little bit deeper is because most of the guys that I've started with urethane were somewhere around 7, 8, 9. I've seen a few of them already around 13, 14, even Ryan a little bit deeper. And that's going to push a little bit of oil on the inside of the lane instead of making it longer a little bit further outside. And that should create a little bit of an extra hold on the inner boards. So maybe we have a kind transition on this squat number 1. Let's see how it goes. So since we have 3 or 4 people quite active in the chat that you've been here moving along, I'm going to ask you guys, Joni, Silvia, Ida, Henrik, if you stay there, what do you think the cut is going to be? Give me a number. I'm going to write it down here with the bunch of guests we had before. And I'm going to ask you as well for a name. Who's going to be the last one? Who's going to be the biggest surprise? Or who's going to be the first one? The first big name not being out. Just give me a lot of data. Go on. I need a lot of activities. Otherwise, I can't wake up. In the meantime, I'm going to take another big sip of coffee. I'm going to take my sweater out because now it's getting a little bit warm. I can see I'm waking up. Johnny says 1385. No, but Johnny, the cat is already on 13. Hold on, I'm going to let you know. It's already higher than that. The cat is already on 1388. So you need to go a little bit higher, Johnny. Sylvia says 1393. That's Theodore Samuelson at spot 36. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 bowlers shooting more than 1393 today. We have 4 squads. We have a big number of big names still not there. So I think I'm going to aim even a little bit higher. Yeah, that sounds a little bit more like it, Johnny. 1400 sounds more like 1400. That sounds more like that. We have here saying 1395, Brandon Bonta, the last one. That could be the number. I believe actually Brandon with that 1395 can actually be the first one to be outside the cut. Unless someone shoots 1396, 97, and then that's the one that's going to be the first one out of the cut. Out of the cut. That sounded like now that the cat is out of the bag, what can you do? That's a very old song I used to play in very underground club. I don't know why that's coming to my brain now. Probably because I'm exhausted and it feels so early. The brain is like, okay, 9 in the morning. That time we usually were playing for crazy people after hours. Johnny says AJ missing. You think AJ is gonna miss the cut? Well, it could be. I've seen the 3 motif players, the biggest names on motif players. They have been struggling quite a lot to find a proper controllable play for the games 2-3, 1-2-3, more or less. We saw how much he had to work out, EJ Tackett, yesterday to shoot that 1400. He had to really pay out every single frame for the last few games. AJ was looking super good, but then he always ended up having some pair that didn't pay out. We could say the same about Ethan Fury. There was a lot of over-under reaction for them. A lot of 9 pins. A lot of 9 pins. And that's why I'm guessing they probably shipped 6-9 balls and they are still missing one kind of a gap on the ball. In my eyes or my point of view, they are missing that smooth, bright balls from motif reaction. They seem to be having a lot of urethane and then switching to pearl balls or very shiny balls, so that's a little bit too sensitive. And it looks like they are missing that ball in between, but I've seen this also in some other PBA guys. So I thought they had an expectation of being able to switch all the way from urethane to angular balls, but for some reason that ball in between, that easy to control ball in between for game 2 and 3, it's missing for many of them, and I think that's the reason why they are so much out of the cut for so many of them. So AJ today jump in the cut. Yeah, I believe so. It could be. So 3 more squats and this one, so it's 4 squats total yet to go. So the cut should probably be on the 1400s. There was, I think it was 2 bowlers with 1400 scratch, and 1401 is Rasmus Olsson on spot 32. That's 9 people. 9 people for 4 squats. It sounds like a lot, but looking at the names that are missing in the cut, it could be a chance. So we will have to see. Let's have a look at the standings for game 1. Now we can refresh everybody's ball in game 2. And the scores are as these. We have 22 bowlers over par. Top 10 is currently 37 over. So number 1, Thomas Larsen, 258. Number 2, Emil Holmberg, 257. Nicolas Sorensen, 256. Elisa Hiltonen there, 250. Marcus Latti 247, Justin Knowles 246, Victor Berner 246, Caron Saloma 242, Chase Nader 240 with that expensive 4 on the frame 12. George Van Veren 237, Kyle Troop 236, Monocelli 227, and then we have Yari Staples and Thomas McNeil 225 to 23. That's 14 people, and Alexander Home 15 223. So game 2 here on squad 1 in the morning of a Saturday in Helsingborg. Kind of cloudy, a little bit of rainy weather on its way. That's very bad news for my back. It could also become a little bit of more sticky approaches compared to what we had the past days. And not so much else to say. Let's have a look around and see where is everybody. Who do we have in front here? We have Saskia, Maxine, KJ, Justin, Zacharias, Juho, Caron, and Jort. So let's do what we usually do. Let's move to the corner and we start seeing who is everywhere. So we have Monacelli and Thomas. They are bowling together. They're on 1 and 2 now. They should play a little longer. I think it was a ball change there for Thomas Larsen, unless I'm wrong. I believe he was throwing the iron solid, but I could be mixing memories from other squads, to be honest. But it would make sense to change from iron solid to bionic, a little bit lower RG, a little bit more differential. It's going to help the ball work a little stronger on the middle lane, and that should cover that difference play they have from 17, 18, 19, 20, and especially the first 4 or 6 lanes that play a little bit longer. Let's see, who else do we have and where. On the next camera, we have a double for Canon, a double for Jort, and a double for Justin Knowles. On lanes 9 to 12, we have Lucas Bannonen, Victor, Alexander, Bjorn, Caitlin, another split there for Caitlin, Saskia, Magnus and Chase, split there for Chase as well. We should move one more, right? Let's make sure we don't miss anyone. Emil, Sergio, Caltrup, Linus Schroeder, Santuk, Ryan Barnes with front 3 over here in 15 and 16. And Marcus Latti and Patrick Hennen. Let's wait on Kyle here on lane 13. He had a split on frame 2, I believe. 13 and 14 could be working as they usually have been doing, a little bit long on lane 13. Could that be the reason why he had a split? Let's find out. Good shot there for Kyle. You could see he paid more attention than usual to where he ended up with his foot on the foul line. Posted the shot a little bit more, stood there for half a second. That tells me the brain is trying to make sure whatever the adjustment he did was working out, and it did look pretty good. Henrik says Thomas Larsen 14-15, the last pot. Wow, so you believe the cut is gonna go all the way up to 1415? That's gonna be a lot of people making the cut to make that happen. I'm gonna read. You actually have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, maybe you're right. From the 1400s to 1415, it's actually only 5 bowlers. But still, it means that we would have to take 11 new bowlers on these 4 squads to make the cut. And actually, that would take Mr. Tackett away from the cut with 1408. Let's see. Henrik, if you're right, there are going to be some upset people around the alley because they're sitting comfy with 1400. But we shall see. We shall see. All right, back in here. Just a minute of pause. I had to take the sweater out. I had to end the coffee. And I'm back on track. Let's see, what did I miss? My goodness, I'm back on the wrong time. Split for Kyle here, and split for, baby split for Ryan on lane 16. Where can I take you with some striking? Let me see. Perhaps we can move one pair back to the left. And we find a spare and a triple for Bjorn. Spare and a triple for Magnus Kruk. Double and clean for Alexander Holm and Saskia. Couple of doubles there for Lucas Bananen. Okay, I'm going to throw there another question for the people in the chat. What's going to be the lowest game we will see today? Who's going to shoot the lowest game today? How low is that going to be? And who is it going to be? But not people that we don't know. Just get yourself wet and give me big names. Who's going to crash on a big name, and who's going to get a real low game, and who's going to really stay far from the cut? Let's find out. We are always looking for the positive, but I want to see what goes on the critical side as well. It definitely looks like we will definitely lose some PBA guys on the cut, because there is many of them not there still. I think there was a publishing today a little bit sooner. Let's see if I can find it. You give me a second. I will exactly tell you some of the names, because I've seen this. Where did I see this? Fuck, not here. Give me a second. Not this one, not this one. Yeah, I found it. So PBR, 2 players inside the cut. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. PBA Tour players in the hunt. That's PBA bowlers who are not in the cut at the moment. Andrew Anderson, TJ Rock, Frankie Lavoie, Arnar Jonsson, Kyle Troop, Ethan Fury, Justin Knowles, Chase Nader, Sean Rush, Andrew Hall, Mika Koivinemi, Tobias Bording, AJ Johnson, Trevor Roberts, Brandon Bond, Ryan Barnes, Thomas Larson. The last one is Richie Tees and Jake Peters. So that makes it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 19 PBA bowlers out of the cut at the moment. So, welcome to Europe, isn't it? Welcome to Urethane. Well, welcome to La La Land in a way. All right, let's move around. Looks like caffeine starts to pay out a little bit, feeling a little bit more awake. Starting to talk no nonsense again, and a little bit of fun stuff. So yeah, I'm waking up. Double spare triple there for Daniel Borner on lane 2. Another 9 there for Monticelli. Looking very happy about this lane 2. 9 spare should be another 9 spare. Mika in the cut for seniors, Johnny. Yes, at the moment, Mika is in the cut for seniors, but not by much. 6 pins ahead, and Torre is on the lead at the moment for seniors. I'm going to let you know the scores in a second. Torre Torgersen 1374, astonishing performance last night. He was actually at a 10 pin on the 10th frame. That if he had struck out, it was going all the way for the 1394 or even 1400. I don't remember. I think it was 1400 because he had a couple of strikes earlier. Mika is currently second with 1348. And we have a bunch of guys there on seniors. We have Matthias Ulfheim and Martin Paulson, Oscar Bergstrom. But honestly, I don't really remember much about Matthias Ulfheim. I can tell you Martin Paulson, if the lanes open up a lot, could have a chance to score that 1350. But I'm not even sure if they have a spot for the squads today. There's a huge waiting list. Mika, I'm almost certain he's not bowling again. I spoke to him for a little while yesterday. Mika is a friend from many, many years ago. He said to me, my knee is not at the best shape, and I'm already 60 years old. I'm going to make it on the senior, or I'm not going to make it. So I'm pretty sure Mika is not bowling again. Probably going to rest his body and use that senior gateway to bowl on Sunday directly. Thomas Larsen not finding any solution so far after a very good first game of 258. A couple of open frames there after 5. No double yet. Kilian Johnson, the kid from Belgium, front 4. Elisa also started with 250, and now she has one open frame here on frame 2. And Brandon Allen, a few open frames there over there. Let's move to 5, 6, 7, 8 and see what we find over here. The Netherlands guy already front 5. George began the day with 237. That's already on the 230s again. Justin Knowles 46 over and triple 9 spare, strike 9 spare. He's the other guy that could do something in here. Looking not bad at all. All right, let's move one more to see who's there. A few strikes there for Lucas Bonanen. Double, open frame, and 4 in a row. Alexander Holm with a clean game and a couple of doubles. Bjorn, clean game and a triple in there. Caitlin not finding a strike on lane 11. That was a damn solid 10 for her, but looking better. Saskia also with a double there and an open frame, and Magnus Krog there, a spare and 6 in a row. Magnus, where were you after game 1? Magnus wasn't there. It was not on 200, I think. Now he had 170 on game 1, so he needs a lot of striking to recover from that kind of a low game 1. As we said before, if the cut is 234, 235 average, a 170 game means you drop down 64 pins. And you have 5 games to bowl 235 plus 64. That puts you on 250 something average for the last 5. You need 1250, and the last 5 1230 at least. And not easy, but at least he's striking a lot. He's trying to recover from that painful game 1. Let's move one more. Emil Holmberg, a couple of doubles and a miss over there. Marcus Latti with 4 in a row. Patrick Hennen, double and a triple. Ryan cleaned that baby split, so it's triple and clean game so far. It looks like the scores are a little bit slower on this game 2. We can see some people has not yet figured out how the new lane is playing for them. One of them could be Kyle. We actually saw Kyle switching back to urethane and moving further outside. That was a very weak 10 there on lane 13 for Kyle. So it's a little bit of many things going on. We shall see what happens in the next few frames. All right, I got a personal message here from one of the super talents, young stars in Sweden, Lucas Heichel. He says the cut is going to be 1403. Lucas, you bet on 1403 and 1403. Give me a second. General standings here. 1403 at the moment would move all the way to spot 32. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bowlers making more than 1402 for the next 4 squads. It could be a chance that I'm still thinking it's gonna be 1400, and I don't really know how they decide those dice, but I think the cut is gonna be on that 1400, and from there we shall see how it actually really goes. Let's move around again, I guess. So Thomas Larsen, 258, but on a scoring pace of 160 there on lane 1 and 2. That's terrible news for Thomas down there. Emil Holmberg, 257, open frame, but just a double and a triple, so a little bit above par, but not too much. We see Ryan Barnes throwing the iron solid. Solid 10, so iron solid and solid 10. Mika in the cap for seniors, and then Sylvia says, that's a tough question. You ask who we think may fail to qualify and could post a low score today. Yeah, that was my question, just to ask something different. Everybody's always asking who's going to do best, who's going to shoot 300, who's going to... I'm going to go for the opposite. Who do you think is going to be like the biggest fall? Who's going to be the biggest name to really not succeed, and who's going to shoot the lowest game or the lowest score for today on the big names? Someone is going to be like, yeah, he's supposed to shoot 1400, but he actually shot 1080. If you see something of that. Otherwise, you can tell me who you think is going to shoot, who's going to make those more than 1400. Sylvia, you said, let me find it. You said 1393. So who's going to make those more than 1393 from that bunch of 19 PBA bowlers, as I said a few minutes ago, is not on the cut? All right, open frame there for Daniel Berner. Monticelli found his strike on the other lane, on the out lane, we could say. So fair chance to keep striking for 240, which he actually needs. He's a little bit low on his scoring pace. Over here, we saw how George also stopped striking. Justin Knowles is at the moment 46 over and a chance for 259. So Justin is doing okay. Okay. I think, Sylvia, you are there. You need to text quite a few phrases in a row so the chat moves up, because Sean Rush is entering the room. He doesn't want to read that. So he didn't see the chat yet, but if you want to hide it, you can just put a bunch of hearts in there or whatever, so it quickly scrolls up on the chat and he cannot see that you're actually a prediction. It could be him going out. At least you got that sad face over there, so he wouldn't be hurt. But yeah, I agree with you. It could be him. It's looking good, actually. It doesn't look bad, but he hasn't really found... He hasn't really found that success area that's gonna work good for him. Honestly, I'm expecting and I'm hoping to see some of those big names today changing a little bit that non-working strategy of throwing urethane between 7, 8 at the beginning and then switching to angular balls all the way in. I think they need to start a little bit deeper, somewhere around 12, 13, 14 with a little bit of surface and a little bit of a weaker core. Something that's easy to control, and use the area over there on the breakpoint and then simply wait for it to open up and keep moving in. I spoke with Nora yesterday for 2 or 3 minutes when she was leaving the alley. She wasn't sure she was going to bowl again. But I suggested to do exactly that because Nora's been doing the same strategy. She's been throwing out there with... she's been throwing out there the Aki 78, not really finding anything in the first couple of games, and she always finds what to do at the end of the squad. So instead of wasting more games out there, just told her to try to do something with a weak core ball and a little bit of surface, move a little bit deeper, bowl a little bit deeper the first 2 games. And let's see if she bowls again. Let's see what she does, and let's see if that works. If that works, obviously I'm going to go there and say, you owe me a Coca-Cola, or maybe you owe me a dinner. Yeah, it's good that you speak a little bit there, Sylvia. Maybe let me see if I can write down something in here on my own. Hola, people. I can contribute to... there you go. Hola, people. That's going to help the chat to hide a little bit. So, bon dia, that's Catalan. Buenos dias, Spanish. Bonjour, friends. Good morning, that everyone, you know. And I'm not gonna go for Swedish because I don't really remember how to spell it. But god morgon allihopa, guten morgen, konnichiwa. Probably some people coming in the chat. Adria, bon dia. Am I the only one who cannot see all the messages in the chat? Honestly, I don't really know how the chat goes. Adrián, non tinc ni idea. I'm guessing there might be some different chats because we have different streamings, but that is definitely not my expertise area. I have no clue. And people is ending up. Let me read you. Rodolfo Monicelli struck out on 1 and 2 for 240 and a total score of 67 over. I see Emil Holmberg 211 for 68 over. Kyle Troop 198 for 34 over. Marcus Latti 236 for 83 over. Patrick Hennon 228 41 over. Ryan Barnes 227 for 22 over. Thomas McNeil 230 for 53 over. What else? George, we have it on screen. He can score a max of 485 if he strikes out. And Justin could go all the way to 105 over, I believe. Yes, if he strikes out. So Justin could be the only bowler with 100 over unless I skip someone anywhere, which it doesn't look like. So let's pay attention to see what Justin actually does in here. Oh, Sylvia, so that's how it's spelled. Good morning, that's pretty easy. I could have gone for that one. If anyone wants to take it in Finnish or Japanese or Chinese, go ahead. I'm not going to be able to do that unless I use Google Translate, obviously, but I'm not going to do that here. It's too many buttons, and I already have too many things to control. Let's see. One more for Justin there. Yeah, that was a big silent for me. My apologies. I had a couple of messages with some information. So I was trying to get them all answered. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm getting a little bit distracted. A couple of messages, special one from a friend of mine. That that was quite a nice message I got. It's good to get some help from the people around the globe, sending some data and some information, so I can give you some extra data on some of the bowlers. Where were we? Let me focus again because it's too many things happening. Caffeine is moving into the body, but not fast enough. I needed to go a little bit faster. Game 2 is over for almost everybody except this lane 5, 6, and 3 and 4. So that means in a minute or a minute and a half, we'll be able to update the current standings for this squad number 2, which at the moment is not looking good. It's not looking good. I'm not sure there will be any 1400s on this one. Of course, we have not Justin there with 94 over. But I don't have the vibes. I don't have the vibes. It feels like this one is not going to be a high-scoring squad. Of course, I could be completely wrong. So let's wait a couple of minutes and see what are the standings for this game 2 on this early squad on Saturday morning. There's the man of the hour, Mr. Martin Larsen himself, showing up on the streaming. What a shame Martin wasn't bowling. He has been suffering with they call it the tennis elbow. At least they call it like that in Spain. Some pain in the elbow, some kind of injury in the elbow hasn't allowed him to bowl much. He bowled maybe 1 or 2 games when they were testing the oil pattern. And you could see he was a little bit in pain. So it's a shame. All that talent not being showed on the lanes, especially when the tournament has your name. But I'm sure we'll see him pretty soon back on track, back on the lanes, and showing his wonderful talent and his charisma. So, very slow pace here on 3 and 4, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 strikes for 4 bowlers. That's 3 strikes per bowler, not more than that. And that could explain that kind of a little bit of slower pace and slower rhythm than most of the other lanes. Yeah, let's do that. Let's move on. Let's move to some lanes where they are already making some shots. I'm going to take a very, very quick break. And I'll be right back in a couple of minutes with a proper update. Just give me a second. Okay, let's have a look, see if we can have the scores updated already. Give me a second. Let's click in here. Click again. All right, not yet. I think the server needs some coffee as well. We'll wait another couple of frames and then we'll go on. Meantime, I'm going to try to look around and let you know if I see anything out of the ordinary. Is there any 5 over there? 494 for Justin, and I believe that's the highest so far. It looks like that's 71 for Jord. Yeah, I don't see any 500 so far, so nobody on the 250s any longer. That was a very fun pin action there on lane 11. Let's have a look at that again, if it wants to work. I don't think so. No. Again, they left that out of use for some reason, so I'm going to have to ask Jonte or any of the technicians if they are listening there around the alley. I need some help with the replays. They're not playing out for me, so whenever you have a chance. By the way, talking about the replay, sponsored by Jopo Grips. Jopo is gonna have a seminar in about 10 minutes or so. That would be very interesting. Henrik, you say now, so I guess you talk about the scores. Yes, you do. Okay, lovely. That was cool over there. Thank you guys for helping. It's wonderful to have some interaction there with the chat. I love it. So the scores is Justin Knowles 494, Marcus Latti 483, Jord van Wieren 471, Emil Holmberg 468, Rodolfo Monacelli 467, Alexander Holm 459, Karen Saloma 454, Thomas McNeil 453, Marcus Kroc 445, and Chase Nader 442. That's the top 10. We have 20, actually we're still on 23 people above par, but we spoke about 234 average to make it to the final. That's 4 por 6, 24. Yeah, 233 is on the 233 could be out with 1398. 233 it's 466, so that means we only have 5 players on current average that could be sufficient to make it into the cut. Greetings from Greece. Hello, buddy. Welcome to the chat. Hope you have some fun here with us. Yeah, as I was saying, at the moment we only have 5 bowlers with enough average after 2 to make the cut to advance into the finals. 4 games to go. Obviously, transition still to show up. Is it going to be a kind transition? Is it going to be a tough transition? Depending on what kind of transition, scores may go up or may go lower. So we shall see. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's have a quick peek around as we usually do. Lanes 1 to 4, Zacharias, Juho Jari and Niklas, KJ, Justin Knowles, Lucas Nilsson and Thomas McNeil. So that means the current leader on the squad is bowling on 3 and 4. 9 spare on frame 1. It's going to be a 9 spare on frame 2. He left the 2 pin, so that probably means the ball was a little bit high in the nose. Let's see how this pays out. Moving to the left corner is always a little bit tougher. Over here we find Alexander Holm from 3. I think actually that was the 4th. Alexander is now with 59 over par. Same lane as him. Rodolfo Monicelli, 67 over. That ball never made it back. That just kept going long and long and long. That's not an easy spare. You could easily chop that. He's using urethane, so at least it's not going to be very snappy on the back of the lane. Bjorn Jensen here, not the best start for Bjorn. He's quite few pins on the par. That was a very early reading ball. Giving some control, yes, but I think it was reading way too early for that spot. So moving on, Kyle, another single pin there, standing on lane 9, bowling with Linus Rudder, Karon Salome, Jord van Weyden. And 11-12 we find Marcus Latti, Patrick Hennen, Saskia, and Maxine. Look at Maxine there, spare him 4 in a row. And who was doing good on the girls on this game 1? It was Elisa with 250, but game 2 went down to 180, so Elisa's on 30 over par at the moment. Move one more pair, see who is here. Adam Andersson, Dan Agebo, Lucas Bannonen, Victor Berner, Happy Hardarson, Anton Persson, Caitlin. Another split there for Caitlin on frame 3 and wash out on frame 4. Saskia with a clean game so far. And finally, on the right side of the bowling alley, Daniel Berner, Harry Davies, Emil Holmberg. Emil is 4th with 68 over. Sergio Lucas, Isaac Delisle, Kilian Jonsson, Santu, and Ryan Barnes here on lane 20. Is there any lane you guys want to go have a look? Is there any bowler you want to follow a little bit more than any other specials? You guys let me know. Guys, let me know in the chat. Nobody doing any crazy stuff, so we probably keep on moving around and trying to follow who's doing good on that particular game. Oh, that was very unlucky there on lane 19. That did not pay out on that spare. And now that I have Daniel here, I'm going to ask for help for a second. All right, we got thank you, Daniel, for helping. That's going to be the replays back on track. There we can see that's the replay on the strike for a double on Ryan Barnes. So now we can get to see the replays. Let's see if Isa can take that 5-7 over here. Come on. Oh, that was a good attempt. It's all right. All right, shall we move again? I think so, right? Back to find out what the leader of the squad is doing on lane 3. 9 spare, and strike. Some strike in here for Lucas Nilsson and Zacharias Lindqvist. So let's take a quick peek here, see how it's going. Team Pergamon. Every time you see one of those shirts, it's probably a good bowler. It's a little bit like when you see somebody on a Barca shirt, it's going to be a good soccer player. Now, if there is any Madrid fans on the chat, you can go home and. Okay, there was no strike for Zacharias. Let's have a look at what Lucas can do on frame 5. And after we see Lucas, I'm going to take you to lanes 5 to 8. It looks like Thomas Larsen has woken up again after that quite low game 2. Thomas was leading the squad with 258 on game 1, but he went all the way down to 172. That's 61.5 pins under what you need on each game for the cat average. Okay, so one more there for Lucas. But as we were saying, Thomas was struggling a lot on game 2, but now he's looking a lot better. Spare and 4 in a row. Let's see what kind of shape is Thomas doing at the moment. Easy outside, easy inside. We've seen him bowling pretty much everywhere. Kind of very different strategies. He's standing quite far to the left. He's standing on 25 at the moment. It looks like he's got the bionic, so I'm guessing he's throwing somewhere around 16 in the arrows. Let's have a look. Maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, that was more into the 18s. We could see the ball went a little bit longer, so I'm guessing he probably missed one board to the left. There is not many people bowling inside yet, so that made the ball travel on fresh oil all the way down. And probably that's why it was a little bit short in the pocket. But one more strike there for Thomas Larsson on game 3 here on 5 and 6. And he needs to strike a lot to recover from that 170 he got on the last game. In the meantime, we'll move to 9 to 12. There is always some high scoring going on here. We can see Kyle Troop with a second double, Linus Röder with a triple and a double, and Caron and Jort on the 20-something over and strikes on. So they can have some high scoring here on 9 and 10. Let's see where Kyle is throwing it. Very similar spot than Thomas Larsson was doing. That was a 19 in the arrows. It was a solid 10. He's moving a little bit his hand and wrist on the walking back from the foul line. So I'm not sure Kyle was feeling the shot was not as good as if he had spinned the ball a little bit more than what he was intended. And that could explain the 10 pin going a little bit longer and sharper when you spin the hand a little bit more than you pretend to. But obviously it's just a guess because we have been rolling around. I'm not really following the whole game for Kyle, so I cannot guarantee that was exactly the reason behind that solid 10 for Kyle. We saw another strike there for Karon Saloma on lane 9. Now it's going to be the time for the Netherlands guy, Jort van Wieren. Let's see if Jort can keep increasing his scoring pace. Jort bowled a couple of squads already, 1260 yesterday and 1324 a couple of days ago. So not bad squads, but short to make it into the cut. You need more than that. As we said, we probably need to be on the 1400s. See what Jort can do here on lane 9. Well, that was not a very good shot. Okay, pretty lucky over there. Couple of pins falling down, so it's only the 10 pin, and that's a very easy spare, especially as one-handed. That shouldn't be any problem at all. Now, Linus Röder on lane 10. Bowling on 16 in the arrows, and a beautiful strike there for Linus. That's the second triple he gets on this particular game. Oh my, look at that. That is really not a happy game there for Caitlin. 1, 2, 3, 4 splits plus that washout. That makes it 5 open frames in a row over there for Caitlin. She started pretty good, but definitely paying a high price on this 15 and 16. I don't know what kind of traffic she encountered in there, but she's definitely suffering. We should see what goes on for her. Some striking there also on lane 20 for Ryan Barnes. We can see strike spare and 5 in a row. Ryan needs to find something that starts working for him and pays with a lot of striking. Ryan has, where are you, Ryan? 22 over after 2 games. So that pretty much means he needs to shoot 990 for the next 4, nearly 250 average. That's 7 strikes in a row with clean games, game after game. We shall see if he can manage to get that. Some striking there also for Emil Holmberg. Emil was 68 over, so that's very good news for Emil over here. He can move all the way to 100 over after this game, even a little bit more if he does a few more strikes or a couple more strikes. But let's go back where we were over here. No, sorry, that's not what I wanted to come back. I want to come back here to see what Kyle and company is doing. Another 9 spare for Kyle. Let me check if I'm missing anything. Justin Knowles is on a clean game, but only 1 double after 6 frames. So far, not a very high scoring game for Justin. Then we should find Marcus Latti. We have already on screen, 225. So Marcus is going to be on 108 over if he strikes on the 12th. Another strike there on the 9th for Jord after missing that single pin. Ay, ay, ay. And I said that should be an easy spare for a single-handed. And there you go, you can't talk. Yeah, it is what it is. Let's see if Linus can get one more as well on the 10th and work on his pace for 268 if he strikes out. It could give him a score of 59 over, so he's really in the need for that. And now let's have a look at Kyle here on the 10th frame. All right, he got the strike. It felt like the ball went a little bit longer, but he got a strike on the 10th for a chance of 227 and move up to 61 over. 61 after 3 means Kyle needs 740 on the last 3, which is quite high. He has games of, I'll tell you as soon as I find him, 236, 198, and probably now 227 with the double. So he needs 3 quite high games, which he hasn't found yet. In the meantime, I can tell you on lane 3, Justin knows another 7 pin. So he remains only with a double on this game. If he strikes out on 8, 9, 10, he goes for 237. Which at least is, as we said, the par, more or less, into the cat average. Now we move back to 19 and 20. We see Ryan managed to do some more strikes over there. So we shall see how he ends this particular squad. All right, before Ryan takes his shot there, I'm going to take you here. We see some striking as well for Chase Nader in a desperate need to find something that really works for him. And that was very far from the head pin on lane 7, missing far left. But let's have a look on lane 8 for Chase. That looked like the Iron Max there for Chase, and that looked very good. That's a lot different from what he was doing those past days, throwing urethane or shiny balls. That's a little bit what I was talking about. Low RG ball, a little bit of earlier motion, more controllable. So when you are moving a little bit in on the beginning, before the lanes is really the lanes are really dried up and giving you enough friction, you need a ball that's a little bit more stable, doesn't go that far away, it doesn't give you that so much over under. Is Monticelli picking up spares with an alley ball? Actually, I don't know. I haven't really checked on that. But we'll certainly pay attention to that. There is one. There is one ball there that looks like a fancy spare ball, but I don't see any house ball on the ball return. I'm looking at Monticelli at the moment. Oh man, that was very deep inside. Look at that, Brooklyn. He's got the ball so far to the left this time. He was lucky to find some hole in there because that could have been hooking all the way to the left corner. But looking at the ball return, I don't really see any house ball. We see a spare ball that is a little bit fancy, as I was saying, looks a little bit different. And it kind of looks like a conventional drilling, unless he has a very thick fingers, which I don't know. We shall see. Maybe it's a spare ball drilled conventional. That could be also. Oh man, that was a big split for Ryan then on 1920. 2-8-10 for Ryan on the 10th. So no 280. On the contrary, it's going to drop down to 240. 36 pins gone there on that 10th frame with that split. It takes just one, so 243, 37 pins gone on one shot. But just to let you know, there was a strikeout there for Emil Holmberg, 240. That's 108 over for Emil in the need for 500 on the next two, 490 something. Lucas Banen 69 over, so need of 530. And 1 and 2, we saw some striking also there. Let me take you there for a second. Yoo-hoo. I guess that's the exact name when you do so many strikes. You get one more and you go, yoo-hoo. That was a very bad joke. Early morning joke. So 258 for Yoo-hoo over there, 257. Puts him on 82 over. That's another guy who needs a 520 on the last two. As you can see, Justin Knowles, maximum score 215. That would put him on 109 over, so he also needs a 490. And it doesn't look like this squad is going to pay out really good for anybody. I see a bunch of guys with 700. Karon Salona, 702. Jord Van Veren, 705. Marcus Latti, 708. But nothing really, really high or high enough. Another split there for Chase as well. Dropping down. Thomas Larson needs to strike out for 87 over. So not everybody doing good enough, or almost nobody doing good enough. They need a very high scoring on the last couple of games. While they finish this one, I'm going to go grab an extra cup of coffee. I still feel I need some more energy. So I'll be right back with you guys in 3-4 minutes and give you a proper update on the standings for this first squad in the morning on the last day of the qualifying rounds here at the Storm Lucky Larson Masters 2026. I'll be right back. All right, it took a little bit more than 2 minutes. I accept that it was longer, but I took not only a coffee, but I brought myself a sandwich here. My stomach starting to sound like the Paramount movies Lion, you know. Rawr. And I think I need to eat a little bit, otherwise I cannot carry on with this crazy thing. Let's see. Hopefully we can update the scores. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. There we go with Obama style again. So we have 23 players still on over par on this squad. Top 10 sitting on 66 over. We spoke a little bit earlier about 234 over being, 234 average being more or less what you need to do for the cut. 234, that's 720, 690, 702. So that means we have now 4 people on that average, that could be enough for the cut. So standings are as this: Emil Holmberg 708, Marcus Latti 708, George Van Wieren 705, and Karon Salome 702. Below that cut average, we find Justin Knowles 698, Thomas Larsen 687, Juho Rissanen 682, Alexander Holm 671, Lucas Bananen 669, and Niklas Horensen 666. So these are the standings at this moment on this early squad. We're bowling game 4. And we have a double here for Caltrop, triple for Lucas Nilsson, triple for Marcus Latti, and double for Patrick Hennen, McNeil, and Sorensen. So a lot of striking going on here on 5, 6, 7, 8. It happened to be a good camera to leave on while I was picking up this coffee and sandwich. And one more for Kyle Trupp. That makes it 3 in a row. Kyle is in a desperate need of a lot of striking. Kyle is only 61 over. He needs to shoot 740 in these last 3 games to make it work. Ryan Barnes needs 735, so that's another PBA guy who needs to do a lot. Same thing for Chase Nadeau, exactly the same score as Ryan Barnes. And if I look up there again, why am I not surprised? Scandinavia is leading the squad again. Sweden on number 1, Finland on number 2, Finland on number 4. So it's, we have the Icemen, but we have a lot of ice people up here as well. Let's move around a little bit, and then we quickly come back here to see this striking streak for so many bowlers in 5 to 10. But if we have a look on 1 to 4, we find Emil Holmberg, squad leader, 9 spare strike. Sergio Lucas there with a double. Pretty good for Sergio starting in here. Then we find Alexander Holm, drop down from top 10. We find Bjorn Jensen, not his highest squad, not even by far. Santu Karela, Ryan there with a split on frame 2. Again, 7 and nothing. That's very expensive. Giving away so many pins on those spares. Chase Nadeau strike and spare. Let's jump to 9 to 12. We find Rodolfo Monicelli, Thomas Larsen, Adam Andersson with front 3, Dan Agerbo, Brandon Allen, Elisa Hiltunen, Mr. Hardarson. I gave an up on his name already, and Anton Persson. If we move to 13 to 16, Karon Saloma sitting on spot number 4 on this squad. Open frame, but then 3 in a row. Bowling with Jort. Jort is the Netherlands guy who is 3rd at the moment on this particular squad. Bowling with them is Daniel Borner and Harry Davies. And on 15 and 16, we find Saskia, Maxine, Isaac, and Kilian Jonsson. And finally on 17 to 20, we have Lucas Bananen, Victor Burnett, Zacharias Lindqvist, Juho Rissanen, Caitlin Oisek, Caitlin recovering after that. So many open frames on the previous game. That was painful to see. Saskia Maltz, KG Lin, and Justin Knowles. So let's go back to 5 to 8, where we had Kyle McNeil and company striking a lot. As we can see, front 4 for Marcus Latti, front 4 for Thomas McNeil, front 3 for Kyle Trupp. All right. So we had a 7-pin, a 10-pin, and a 10-pin. That's 3 shots in a row on this burst with no strikes. Here we go again with the Jinxing Company. We should have some Jinxers company sponsoring every time I switch camera. Unbelievable. Let's see if Kyle breaks that and becomes the exception to the rule. Come on, Kyle. Made me look a little bit less bad. Guess what? Another 10-pin. Yellow card for me. There's the yellow card. One more yellow card and I get a red card, and I'm not doing any more streaming today. I'm going to be sitting out there putting candles and talking to God. Why you do that to me, my lord? But it is what it is. No striking in here. Maybe Thomas McNeil can carry on with the striking. Otherwise, it's unbelievable. We jinxed everybody on the camera. Oh, thank God for that one. It was almost a solid 9 there for McNeil on lane 7. Let's have a look at the replay. 9 pin standing there, but the messenger takes care of it. Thank God for that. Niklas Sorensen moving in. Bowling quite deep already. That was quite deep inside, beyond 20s. And it's game 4, so it actually makes sense that the lane starts to dry up a little bit and we start to see some people moving deeper. Will it open enough for them to score high? That I don't know. There's a bunch of guys with need of very high last couple of games. Definitely. Looking around so far, it's only clean with pair and 4 bagger for Maxine. 4 in a row, 9 for Adam Anderson, and that's pretty much it. So we are actually on the streaming camera that's getting a little bit more of a higher scoring pace. So we will remain here for a little longer. Let's see what Kyle can do here. All right, not the 10, but the 7-10. Again, not finding the carry. Again, not finding a ball that's going to give him what he's looking for down the lane. And don't get me wrong, the ball looks pretty good on the lane. It looks like he can actually have a little bit of miss room to both sides, but he's not finding the carry. Close to strike, but no strike. 4 pin for Thomas McNeil there. From 5, 9 spare. Striking out at 279. Split there on 13 and 14 as well. No doubles yet for Jort. That's one of the guys with 100 over. So for now, just Marcus is doing quite good there with that front 4 spare and strike from the guys that are on the top of the current squad. Where is email? Let me find email. Yeah, Emil was on lane 1 and 2. I forgot that. Clean game so far, but no doubles. 9 spare, strike, 9 spare, strike. And the other one that was doing okay was Karon Salama, who is bowling on lane. Where are you, Karon? Yeah, open frame, triple 9 spare on 13 and 14. So far, nobody going crazy high. People still fighting to find that sweet spot on the lane that's going to give him enough or give them enough striking power. But not really happening so far. So what is the people on the chat doing? Are you all gone having breakfast? Are you having a cup of coffee, or are you still alive? Edwin is asking, what's EJ Tackett's highest score? Well, it was last night. He shot 1,408. It was a very, very consistent performance there by EJ. I'm going to read you the games. 227, 247, 233, 223, 223, 255. So the last game was actually his highest game. He really had to strike out to put himself in the chance to do it, and of course he did it. He's the best bowler in the world at the moment. Few more strikes happening now, but there's people who has a very low scoring. So it's not really helping them. Well, it's helping them look better than they were doing, but not really helping them to get in the average for making the cut. And the same thing for the guys who are already on that average. They're not really striking enough. So I'm not sure how many will be alive after 4 games. Let's have a look in a little bit later on. Let's go back to 1 and 4 for a second. We see Kyle keeps going 9 spare, 9 spare. Our current leader, Emil Holmberg, already had a double here on 1 and 2. So 9 spare strike, 9 spare double. Not good for Ryan, not good for Chase. Not good for the business. We'll stick here for a couple of frames with Emil, see what kind of line is he doing, and is he still throwing urethane? Did he move a little bit deeper? What kind of solution did he find for these lanes 1 and 2, which are always a little bit longer than the right side in the bowling alley? So as you can see, in more or less 10-15 minutes, the streaming is going to be with commentary and instant replays only for members. It costs only $5, so it's very cheap. Then you can keep on following the whole tournament with instant replays and a lot of nonsense by me on the commentary. But I believe it probably is more funny to go on with my nonsense than just watching bowling silent. Of course, you can choose to put some cool music and keep watching and stay on your own. But if you want to see the final, you're going to have to be a member. And as I said, it costs only $5. And we hope you're going to become a member and keep us company for the rest of the day, which is going to be a very long day, man. We are going to be pretty good friends by the end of the day. We have been in the bowling alley for a couple of hours. We still have 2 games to go, and then we still have 3 squads to go, and then tomorrow we have a beautiful day of finals on Sunday. So no MotoGP tomorrow, no Formula 1 tomorrow. We stick on bowling tomorrow, and there will be time on Monday to look at the races and look at Barca play. But for now, everything is on bowling, 100% focus on bowling. It's that one special time on the year where we have the best bowlers all united on this beautiful town here in Sweden. my real beloved Helsingborg. I don't know why I haven't moved up here yet. I should have done it many years ago. So I'm gonna announce it out there in public. Patrick Backe, when are you damn gonna hire me here and so I can spend more time here? I know I come up 3 or 4 times a year, but still not enough. You know, when you are in love with a person and you don't see them in a couple of weeks and you have those butterflies in the stomach, that's what happens to me when I jump in the plane on my way to Helsingborg. I get butterflies in my stomach. I love this city. I love this bowling alley. I love how they treat me in here. Maybe it's a little bit like a summer love. And maybe I come and move up here, and after 3 months you are all so tired of me that you kick me back out down to Barcelona, and then the summer love is gone. And that is the kind of nonsense I was telling you is worth paying $5 for, because otherwise it's a very long day. It's more people coming. Yeah, obviously we have a lot more guests yet to come. We have the PBA guys passing by the booth, giving us their perspective and their point of view. And obviously we asked them about other stuff as well, and there will be other commentators also, so don't worry, you're not going to have to listen to my nonsense 24/7. And I think we should pay some attention back onto the lanes. I'm starting to go again on my trips, my brain tips, going nowhere. So Emil on lane 1 and 2 is the current squad leader. He needs to strike out for 238. That would put him on 146 over after 4. That means he needs 450 on the last 2, and that is in the case he strikes out. If we move to 5, 6, 7, and 8, a little bit more striking, but is it gonna be enough? There we go again with Niklas Sorensen. When this guy finds the lane, he strikes like a damn machine. And that's what happens when I speak. He didn't even hit the head pin. He missed so far to the left. That was a big jinx over there for my talks. But let's keep on moving. See, 246 there for Thomas McNeil. Is going to be 94 over at the moment. Marcus Latti, he was sitting on number 2 spot with 108 over. He just shot 246. So Marcus Latti is now 154 over in the need for 450 on the last 2. It can be done. So maybe we still have a few guys with a fair chance to make the cut. Could be. Let's see how they end up here on 5 and 6. If they can carry on striking, especially Kyle Trupp. If he strikes out, he's gonna go to 107 over. Still leave him alive. He needs 490 and the last 2, probably 490 something. But he's still alive. He keeps trying. Nicholas Sorensen, if he strikes out, is going to move all the way to 133 over. 470 needed on the last 2. I see Henrik is rooting for Thomas Larsen. Thomas had a split on the 8th frame. Thomas is bowling on lane 9 and 10. He needs to strike out for 224. 111 over if he strikes out. So it's another bowler who's going to need to shoot 490 on the last 2. Let's have a look here at Kyle on lane 5. All right, I get it. I don't think he was so convinced about it, but he got the strike. All right, let's see if Kyle can put another one over there. Keep moving a little bit higher on the scoring pace. Make sure he stays on the hundreds. Otherwise, you need the very 2 last games. 500 is quite high, but 520 is even harder. There goes Kyle. Well, that was a little bit deeper. All right, he got the strike. Felt like it was a little bit deeper. But good news for him. One more. 240 something, 907 potential. Strike there for Nicholas as well. Nicholas, sorry, 227 can score all the way up to 257 and 123 over if he does strike out. Looking around, I can tell you KJ Lim 32 over, Justin Knowles 176 now, so drop. Sorry, 174. Drop down to 72 over. He needs 530. That's not easy. 911 for Juho, 882 for Lucas Bananen. We have some Finnish guys up there. What else? Emil, open frame on frame 9, so Emil's gonna shoot 196 and 104 over. Cat on Saloma, 197, so 99 over. Okay, not very high scoring as we were afraid of. Oh, that was a very bad shot for Kyle there on the last one. 242 and 903, I believe. And 932 for Nicholas Sorensen. Yeah, 903 for Kyle, 932 or 922 for Nicholas. I think the highest so far is Marcus Latti with 154 over. And the only one who could get somewhere close is the guy from Netherlands, Jort. He can go to 937 if he strikes out. Here on lane 14, 2 more to go for him. So a little bit of a drop down. Is not that many bowlers going high. 2 games to go on this squad number 1. And we will see if somebody gets a very high 5th game and put himself on a little bit more favorable position for the last game on the squad. So we'll be right back in a couple of minutes with a proper score update. Thank you, everybody.